What's up guys? So being in California, the traffic is probably one of the worst, especially in Los Angeles. And the roads don't help for it either. As some of you have probably noticed in my videos, camera shakes a lot because of how bumpy and how messed up the roads are. So one thing I noticed in my drive down to Orange County, there was a section of the road which is under construction. And I know you're not supposed to use autopilot in construction. There's a section of the road where autopilot glitches out and gets confused because the lines of the old highway and the new lines with the construction confuses the road, especially because it's trying to navigate on autopilot at the same time with the GPS. And to add to that, with California's super bright sun, I also noticed that autopilot can't necessarily see the lanes when it's facing directly in the sun. And my commute, which is going south, which puts the Tesla Model 3 facing directly at the sun. So in this video, I'm going to show you this one section of highway where autopilot gets confused, and then we're going to review the dash cam footage where autopilot is staring directly into the direct sun and gets confused with the lanes and almost goes into a couple different lanes left or right. All right guys, let's get into the video. Okay, so here's the section where autopilot typically gets confused. You can tell it's a construction area, so you can see the border, the concrete borders, and you can see it kind of, the highway goes to the left a little bit, but on the GPS the highway is supposed to go straight. And then you can kind of see, I don't know if you can pick it up the camera, but there's a lot of different markings from, I guess, like the pavement, and they kind of go in different directions. And there's also this line here which can add to more confusion because that goes straight, which is a split, and then there's another line right there, and there's another line right there, and then another asphalt line right here, which just further adds to the confusion for autopilot. So you can see autopilot kind of just sways in the lane a little bit if you've noticed on the visualization screen. And typically when it's a cloudy day like this and the cameras can see very clearly, you're not going to see any issues with autopilot. But when the sun is added and it's super bright, especially facing directly into the camera, the autopilot system can barely tell what lines are what. And it even turns on the headlights because it's trying to like pierce through the brightness with the headlights to clearly see the lane markings. If you're wondering where this is on the I-5 going south near exit 117. And if you live around here, you've probably driven through this same exact area and experienced the same amount of issues, or the same issues when it's in super bright sun. So of course, this is just another reminder to not use autopilot in construction zones, or just be super vigilant during these areas, because autopilot will freak out and or run into concrete barriers or run into other cars, as you'll see in the dash cam footage, which I'm going to play right after that. Alright guys, so this is the dash cam footage. You can really see how bright the sun is, and it's facing directly into the camera. So of course Tesla autopilot is going to freak out, especially in a construction zone. And you can really see that the camera can barely tell what the lines of the current highway markings or like the old one from before. So right out here you can see that like there's a separation with the asphalt. It's kind of like shifting in the lanes left or right. If you look at the top left screen with the marker lanes, you can see the car kind of getting really close to that side. So the car is really trying to do as best as it can to really stay in the middle of the lanes by following the car ahead and trying to see whatever it can with the lanes. But coming up at this part, it sways into the left lane at that point right there, and you can see I had to autocorrect it. It disabled it out of autopilot, and it did it again, so I had to disengage autopilot completely because it just wasn't able to stay in the correct lane during this part at all. So as you can see, even a human will have a tough time driving through those areas without sunglasses. So autopilot, with just being a camera facing forward, of course it's going to have a tough time. So watching that footage, you can really understand how autopilot glitches like that and veers into other lanes because they can barely tell what lanes are there. So of course, as the cameras get better and as the technology gets better, hopefully we'll see improvements in the autopilot system, but you can't necessarily fault it at all for making those glitches. But yeah, thanks for watching another video. Hit that like if you enjoyed this video, and comment below if you've experienced similar autopilot freakouts in construction zones or other weather conditions. Alright guys, I'll see you in the next one. See ya!